The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard.
After a wild debut at Myrtle Beach Speedway, the Outlaws are back in action tonight. It's Saturday night short track racing at its finest, and you'll get to see it on iRacing Live and the global SimRacing channel. Welcome to the Bootleg Racing League and the Outlaws in Race 4 of Season 3 of 2017 as we're at the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway, a historic track that is one of the first tracks in NASCAR, and tonight hosts the Muscular Dystrophy Association 100. Good evening. I'm Chris Scala. Stephen Parks is in for Sean Ambrose tonight. And, well, what better way to initiate him than to have him in a Martinsville hot dog eating contest against Joey Chestnut. Good luck in that, Steve. Anyways, just kidding. He is really in the booth, though, with us. Joe Peak in the director's stand, and, of course, Dougie Beard on the cameras. Last week, I said it was a wild race at Myrtle Beach, and when I say wild, that's an understatement. Big field. Not really, but the racing, fantastic. Phil Temples led the most laps, 62. 6 different drivers led a lap in that race, but a late race crash sent a newcomer to victory lane for the first time in Jason, or you know him as JJ Garrick. Can he repeat tonight? Well, we're going to see as we welcome Stephen in. Martinsville, a very historic track, Stephen, for many reasons, but the track itself, whew, it's a tough one.
That's right, Chris. Built back in 1947, originally as a dirt track, Martinsville is just over a half-mile long, and drivers will have to battle the 12 degrees of banking in the corners tonight. But for more on tonight's track, let's take a ride along in the GSRC SK Modified.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around Martinsville Speedway in the GSRC SK Modified. Martinsville is a fun little track, better known as a paperclip. Gives these guys a lot of fun rubes to run, and always puts on a great show. But you're always going to be hunting for that yellow rumble strip down there on the bottom. Braking marker, probably about that Chevy sign on the wall. You can really dive this car in deep. Let it float to the bottom, back onto the gas, all the way out. Aim for that kind of restart zone. Marker on the wall, leave it be. Back down into turn 1. Float in just a little bit, cut it through the middle, and haul it onto the gas right about halfway through the corner. Back out. And once again, aiming for that Chevy sign there. Back onto the brakes. Taking a more direct route into turn 3 versus floating it in 1 and 2. That's just driver preference. Some guys might do the same on both ends. Back down here again into turn 1. Float in the middle, kind of letting it rotate a little bit better as the run progresses. You don't want to get on the binders too hard or else the car will get real snappy just like that. All it has to do is step out just to unnerve you or ruin your day. Back out to the start-finish line straight, across the line, back down into turn 1. Here we go, floating it through the middle, letting it rotate, bite, back onto the gas, back out of the corner, aiming for the wall, not to hit it, and then back down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time today. Floating through the middle, back onto the gas, out of the corner, across the line, and that is going to complete our track guide around the Martinsville Speedway in the GSRC SK Modified. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
That's a lap around the historic Martinsville Speedway. Last week, Chris, we talked to JJ Garrett, who went to victory lane for the first time. Tonight, you have another newcomer looking to do the same. Chris is with Ryan Detzler.
Hey, Ryan, there could be a theme here, and this might help you out tonight. Okay, talked to JJ last week. He's in Indiana. He won the race. I'm talking to you tonight from Indiana. You think you can go to victory lane?
Martinsville's tough, man. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll take any luck I can get.
We'll talk about the track. How's it looking for you so far?
Looks like you need to get to the bottom as quickly as possible on every restart, and don't overshoot corner entry because the people have been locking them up all night.
We'll talk about that curve there in the bottom because that thing can definitely be tricky. We were watching that truck race a little bit ago. It seemed like there was some pounding, especially on that inside. What can you do to prevent that?
Get to the bottom, but not too far to the bottom.
Well, Ryan, we wish you the best here this evening, and stay off that curve, and just try to keep it clean, and maybe we'll talk to you just like we did Garrett last week for the first time at Victory Lane.
Let's hope so. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. That is Ryan Detzler, the Indiana driver, and that interview brought to you by the Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blancpain GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. Now, Steven, we got a pretty tight battle in our hands, especially last week, Myrtle Beach. We put all the dice in a Yahtzee cup, shook it up a little bit, and we got a pretty good battle for the points after 3 races.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series, and it is J.R. Shepard leading the pack right now. 36 points for him. Donnie Moore falls back to second. Still a pretty close battle, though, all through the field as Donnie Moore 4 points back. 1 point behind him, you have Lowell Jewell in third. Then you go to John Henn, who is 9 points back in fourth, and JJ Garrett, with his win last week, will put him in fifth, moving up into the top 5, 10 points back.
And Garrett working at momentum from his win at Myrtle Beach last week. He's already got a win tonight in a street stocks. J.R. Shepard winning truck race just a few minutes ago, so we'll likely... there's a good chance, I should say, we'll see one of those drivers up here in the front. But for those who don't know what Saturday night short track racing is all about, Stephen, let's go through a little bit of the news and notes of race details of what we'll go through.
Yeah, let's take a look at the race details right now. The SK Modifieds out here tonight will be running a fixed setup to balance the playing field for all the drivers out there. Tonight's starting grid will be an inverted top 10 from New Samara. 100 laps tonight, or 52.6 miles for these guys. And they will have one fast repair, but here's the big kicker. No tire changes allowed in this league, and they will not have a fuel cap, so 100% fuel for these guys tonight. And there is no incident cap as well. Restarts are double file, and lap cars will go to the back of the pack, and lucky dogs are in play for tonight's race.
It's going to be a very fun Saturday night on the short track here at Martinsville, and let's talk about some news from the week. And they say no news is good news. There's really no new news at all, so definitely some great news from the series here. But we'll update again starting in October here, the new Friday Night Winter Series lineup. 7 o'clock will be the Pro Truck Series. That's what you usually see at 8 o'clock on Saturdays. They moved the Friday night at 7 p.m. And then the Grand National Series making a return 8 o'clock on Friday nights. And then Saturday night, the Street Stocks, the Limited Late Models make a return at 8 p.m. And then the Outlaws, of course, as always, 9 o'clock starting in October. That'll be the new winter lineup coming up here. Coming up here in about a month or so. Now, keys for tonight, Stephen. I always bring these up for Sean. I come up with a couple things myself that probably are going to be big here at a track like Martinsville. So, number one, I always say the curb stomp. We do not like the curb stomp at Martinsville. We got to watch out for that yellow thing on the bottom as David Loomis hits it right on cue. We got to watch out for that thing.
Yeah, you do, and the bottom is your friend here. You know, these guys try to get that car as low as they can entering the corner, and they try to stick that car down there and get the wide exit. So watch for those guys dive into the bottom of each corner here tonight.
And you said there the bottom is your friend. That is definitely key tonight. And the third one we'll say is tires, tires, tires. So easy in these modifieds to wear the rears off.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one here tonight. This is a pretty long track for these modifieds, and you burn those tires up quick. You don't get an extra set, so it's gonna be a big key factor for tonight.
Should be a lot of fun here this evening around the Martinsville. That paperclip was got about 5 minutes or so before they grid. Got a pretty good sized field. I saw 16 cars earlier. Might be one of the bigger fields we've had this season so far, but Stephen, honestly, being here tonight, filling in for Sean, who's enjoying himself this evening, I might say. We get to enjoy the racing side of things. What expectations do you have for Martinsville?
Well, I'm expecting some single file action for a while, and it's going to be hard to make a pass really at any point in tonight's race. Martinsville is pretty tricky to find any passing area on the track, and I did see we now have 18 drivers racing tonight, so that's going to make it even harder.
That's going to make it really tricky, especially getting the issues tonight. You do not want to have any kind of spin, especially late in the race with the 12 degrees of banking that this track has. It's definitely going to be a tricky race this evening as you ride with Jeff Kendrick right now, 10th fastest in practice. Now, Steven, I don't want to put you on the spot here, buddy, but, you know, Sean, he has to make a pick each week, and usually it's not good. But I'm going to put you on the spot here because usually when somebody else makes the pick, it goes pretty well. So you give me a pick for tonight. Who do you think's going to win this thing?
You know, last time I was here in the booth doing a bootleg modified race, I picked J.R. Shepard, and I got to pick. I want to go with Jeff Sharp today. I'll just throw it in there.
Jeff Sharp, the 9th place fastest car right now there in that 73, the New York driver, looking to go to victory lane here this evening. And as we mentioned, just watching Lucas Stinziano wreck on the backstretch. But if you do want to chat with us, as you see already, the chat's live and open tonight. You can do so on the Global Sim Racing YouTube page. If you're watching us on iRacing Live tonight, we appreciate it. Hopefully, if you're watching us and taking a break from the spa 24 hours, hopefully you've not gotten too many 1Xs in that race, and hopefully you were doing pretty well in that. A bunch of us decided to skip that one, which probably a smart decision on my part. I'm not too good at that track. Do you like road coursing, Steven?
You do not want me on a road course. I've tried and tried and tried, and I just pile up the X's.
Sounds about right. Sounds like me. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and good luck to those guys. As we got, again, 3 minutes to go here before the practice session is over. Now, Steven, these guys have a tendency. Last week we had 11 cautions. So when you have a race like that, what's your mindset going into this race? Because you don't want to come back and have another 10 or 11 caution race.
Yeah, definitely the mindset as not only as a driver trying to get a great race out there tonight, as a league, you want to kind of come together and you want to try to get one or maybe no cautions in a race tonight. So I'm looking for a good, clean race out by these guys tonight.
Now, I will say traditionally Martinsville has been one of the better races for the Outlaws each and every year. I remember the first race I actually did with Sean, this is over a year ago. We actually had a photo finish at the line with one car actually climbing a wall. It was like really entertaining, but so that's when I knew the Outlaws were pretty fun. So that's what to expect here this evening out of the 18 car field. Now, the one bad news we will say tonight, Ryan Detzler right now, that number 2 car, the Indiana driver we spoke with, he's kind of shotgun right now practice speed wise, so hopefully that's not a sign to come tonight. As last week we talked to Mr. Garrett, he got in victory lane, and we're going to try to go 2 for 2 with talking to a new driver and getting him into victory lane, but we'll have to see here, as still got about 2 minutes to go in practice. But looks like that groove's starting to get a little darker and darker. I wonder if that's going to play a role for that high side a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the times out there tonight, and I'm pretty impressed. We have basically the whole field, 3/10 separating the whole field. And, I'm seeing a bunch of those times now start to decline as maybe that track's starting to wear in. They're going to start losing a little bit of time here and there. But really, to have 18 drivers within 3/10 at Martinsville, you got to applaud the league for that.
Oh, that's something. That's a typical Saturday night, we'll call that, for this league. They do a great job of keeping it tight. I mean, if you ever see one car that's way off the pace, there's something wrong, because usually everybody is right on top of another. That's what makes it fun, and that's what makes the tire saving. I think the biggest key in this series is the fact that you got to go down and run 100 laps and keep the tires underneath you, or else you could go from 3rd back to 15th within like 5 laps because you've just worn the rubber off that car. So that is definitely going to be why I mentioned one of the keys tonight, because it's going to be tough with what you mentioned, 3 points, literally 3 point up. It just changed because Detzler went up, so now it's 3.23 tenths of a second between the top, all the 18 cars. But that's what's shaping up for us here at the Martinsville Speedway as we get ready for the Muscular Dystrophy Association 100. It's another great cause, by the way, if you guys want to check that out. Of course, muscular dystrophy, that's something I know I've done actually in the past. They have the old charity, I don't know if they still do it or not, where they actually bring you to jail for like an hour or two, and you have to call people and raise a certain amount of money before they let you out. I had to do that before. It's interesting, but it's definitely a great cause, and make sure you do support them, and we appreciate the Outlaws putting them on their name tonight, and we'll try to represent them pretty well here broadcast-wise tonight too. But we're going to take a look at the starting lineup, Steven, as we'll go row by row here, starting with the pole sitters. They invert the field from the last week's race in Myrtle Beach. I about said New Smyrna for some reason. Donnie Moore, he is going to be on the pole. The number 26 Irwin Tools ASPCA car will start alongside fellow New England driver David Loomis.
Philip Temples and Ryan Detzler will take your second row.
Chip Dickert, he had a pretty good run at Oxford Plains before all fell off the map there alongside J.R. Shepard.
Man, I picked Jeff Sharp in row 4 and 7th tonight. John Henn will start right next to him in 8th.
The boss, Lowell Jewell, he'll start inside of row number 5, and there's last week's winner, Mr. Garrett, going to start 10th.
Dustin Powers and Jeff Kendrick will make up row number 6.
Row 7, there's John Holcomb, and alongside him going to be Mike Allen at Clarence Steakhouse. He's driving a Virginia paint scheme.
Mike Holloway and Brendan Limecooler will round out row 8.
And last but certainly not least, Kurt Smith will start alongside Lucas Stinziano. So once again, a big field here tonight, 18 cars. Going to take the grid here at Martinsville. Packed house as always. A lot of $2 Martinsville hot dogs. Got the train on the back straightaway. So much historicness about this track. Is that a word? I just made up a word.
Yeah, there really is here tonight, and it's going to be a great race between these guys.
See the train tracks there on the back straightaway. Track used to be a dirt track back in the 40s when it was first built, and then they turned it into pavement. Been on the NASCAR schedule since the start.
Yeah, you could definitely tell in the build of this track how it used to run as a dirt track. And I tell you what, we might see some of that dirt track action here tonight as these guys battle around the corners.
Not to mention, when you think about a dirt track, how many dirt tracks do you know would only be 12 degrees of banking? This is pretty flat for a dirt track when you think about it. Because you look at like Eldora, it's 24 degrees.
Yeah, actually, I never really thought about that, to be honest. It does have a wide corner, though, so there's a lot of room for movement. But, God, 12 degrees of banking, there isn't a lot there for dirt track racing.
Here we go, pace car, going to hang a left, 100 laps, 52.6 miles of racing. Let's send it to turn one. And we're green at Martinsville. Donnie Moore, David Loomis, you see everybody trying to get to the inside real quickly. And Phil Temple's already a couple cars sliding up the track. They're going to go to second. Chip Dicker going to go to third, and 3 wide down the back.
Yeah, David Loomis pushed up the track, and it's still 3 wide right behind him. That is the 75 of John Henn. And they're wrecking.
Shepherd,
big one.
Wow, Junk City. Garrett's involved. Shepherd, Dickert, half the field. Loomis on his top.
Yeah, we're seeing Chip Dickert move all the way back to 15th. We're seeing a bunch of guys already towing to the pits, and it was a big pileup coming out of 4.
Looks like Dickert caught the curve right off the bat here, and a lot of cars going topsy-turvy, literally. We'll see it on replay one more time. You'll see Dickert. He's going to clip that curve. We talked about it. You clip that curve, and it's bye, Felicia, literally.
Those top guys have got to be happy they started up front because they avoided all of that right now. And, it's something that you got to think about at short tracks. You're starting up front, it's the least chance you have of getting involved in a wreck. But we do see John Holcomb already up into 5th tonight. And look at that, Jeff Sharp up in 3rd.
On board with Shepherd, wow. Now, you do get resets. You do get 1 reset, but however, you got a lot of cars right now, multiple laps down already. Loomis 2 down. You got Shepherd 3 laps down. Garrett 3 laps down. So 1 dominant car there. Mr. Shepherd, the 3-time champion, or make that 4-time champion, I should say, is getting his car towed. Last week's winner, Garrett, getting his car towed. He's got to get the car fixed. So all of a sudden, this race is kind of opened up wild. And, yeah, fair game.
Yeah, it turns into a battle of who can get that lucky dog now. We talked about the lucky dogs being in play tonight. And, being a couple laps down, you're going to want every caution you can get out there, get around, and get back to the field. So these guys are going to be definitely trying even harder to get into that lucky dog position.
Pace car lights still on here as we complete lap number 5. David Loomis getting out of the pits. So all the cars are back on track. However, they're at least 2 laps down. So this is going to be very interesting here. If we get some more cautions, who can get on the lead lap the quickest to try to get back in this running. But 18 cars, it's going to be tough, but still plenty of time to go.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are going to be stuck on the high side once again for this restart. We saw how that high side dropped back quickly. They're going to have to get down there a little bit quicker this time around.
Pace car lights are off. Ford Mustang will turn left here down the pit road. Donnie Moore started on the pole. He's there leading now. Phil Temples. Jeff Sharp, your pick there. Steven in 3rd. You got Lowell Jewell and John Holcomb going to be your top 5. Holcomb started 13th, is up to 5th already because of that wreck. Here we go. Pace car in. And Moore's on it. Only 2 gears in these cars, so you don't have to shift much. But Temple's going to try that high side as Lowell Jewell goes up the track.
Yeah, he went high up into the corner, and we're seeing the leader right now, Donnie Moore, take a higher entrance into the corner, trying to clip that apex as best as he can, while Philip Temple's right now trying to ride the low line.
Everybody's got their different styles of racing, and you see Temples brings it a little lower off the corner. Moore gets a pretty good run down the back straightaway. Your first side-by-side battle is back here with the lap car. Jason Garrett, or JJ, getting past the 2 of Detzler, who's just been off the pace so far. Here comes John Hine, the 75 Bud car. Got Shepard there, follow him again. Shepard 2 laps down in the 17th position, already in his backup car.
Yeah, Garrett in that lucky dog position currently. He's got J.R. Shepard running him down, though.
Temple's coming out here for the lead. Up front. Nah, he puts it back in line. Didn't want to drive in there. Hey, what? These cars are not wanting to stick on the yellow line. It's almost like they're driving deep into the corners here.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's where that higher line entrance that we're seeing Donnie Moore take. He's trying to almost arc that corner. We're going to see that come into play as really looks like he's saving his tires. He looks now to be switching up his strategy.
Now, Steven, let me ask you this question. When you're driving a car here at Martinsville, I've always heard different kinds. You could always do the arc like you just talked about, but I've also heard trying to straighten out the corner as much as you can before you get full throttle. You almost want to be straight off the corner to try to make it as long as possible.
Yeah, I know definitely in the Cup cars, you want to get that car as straight as you can before you get on the throttle, because it's a little bit loose going from 12 degrees of banking to 0 on the front and back stretch. So you definitely want to have that car straightened up before you're down on the throttle once again.
Not to mention you have a little more grip on concrete than you do on asphalt, and there's that transition there. So the Temple's not letting go of Moore. He almost clips the wall there. Jeff Sharp doing a great job. John Holcomb, Mike Holloway.
Looking back at 7th right now, Lucas Stenciano, 11 places gained tonight. That wreck really helped him as he's now working his way, trying to get up into the 6th position.
Yeah, Stenciano, that Foo Fighters car. He, I mentioned earlier, I got it mixed up with Chip Dicker, but Stenciano was the driver I meant to talk about at Oxford Plains 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago it might have been. Just had the race of his life. And had a chance to win. Unfortunately, a late spin, and here he is now backing it up with a 7th place run right now. He is showing that was no fluke. I don't know what Dave Grohl has done to give him some influence, but that Foo Fighters car's going.
Yeah, Lucas definitely got the wrong end of the stick at that Oxford Plains race. Getting stuck on that outside line on that final restart really hurt him as he dropped from 2nd all the way back to 9th. But tonight, he's showing that it wasn't just a fluke, and he's going to try to battle up here in the top 10 right now.
Top 5 all remain the same. Matter of fact, everybody in the field pretty much single file all the way through. As I'm literally going through the field, everybody's single file. So, best battle on the track you're seeing is right for the lead as Temples is trying everything on Donnie Moore. Donnie snapped that, over 1 year winning streak, or losing streak, I should say, at the first race of the season back earlier here in season 3. I've lost the track's name in my head, but that happens.
Yeah, he's definitely the car of the field right now, able to hold off Philip Temples. But as we go on in this race, we're going to see how much these guys are burning up right now, as these guys, the front 5, have really pulled away from the rest of the pack. But we'll see where.
Temples got
Philip
the curve.
Temples.
Nice save.
That curb was almost the death of him right there.
I call that a curb stomp. Langley was that track, by the way, earlier this season. Donnie Moore snapped the streak and looking to go 2 for 2, or 2 for 2 in the state of Virginia, but 2 wins in the first 4 races here this evening. But yeah, Phil Temple is going to lose 3 spots here. That Florida driver, you're going to see the replay here as he's loose into turn 3 here, has to catch that back in.
I think we're starting to see some tire wear come into play already here tonight, as we did see him hit that curb, but he's starting to get loose a little bit coming off of the corners now.
Yeah, I think that time around he jumped on the brakes and arced it in too much into the corner, and it caused the back end to kind of slide around there. Battle for 2nd is on. John Holcomb on the back of Jeff Sharp.
Yeah, looking at this battle for 2nd right now, you gotta know that Donnie is happy to see Philip get loose and really push those guys back. He has extended his lead now. And really, he just needs to keep running this line and he'll be fine up there.
Up trouble. It is over in turn 4, I believe. I can't find it. Is it Shepard?
I think it might be Lucas
Cinziano, maybe? Cinziano. Looks like maybe just a simple 360 here, maybe.
Oh, he got a little bit of a bump.
Oh, well, get close there. Oh, he got a little... Yeah, he kind of closed the door a little bit there on that 59 car of Mike Allen. J.J. Garrett going to get the wave around. Looks like no harm, no foul. Just caution number 2 on the track, though.
Yeah, J.J. Garrett closer to being back on that lead lap. We're only 23 laps into this, so he's got to be pretty happy to see where he's at right now, knowing that he can get back in there and he can battle for a great finish here tonight.
So Donnie Moore leads here, 24 laps in the books. I think we're going to step away real quickly here as we come back to Martinsville. It's the Outlaws of the Bootleg Racing League here at Martinsville on the Global Sim Racing channel. Martinsville Speedway as we complete lap number 26, going to complete 27 as we get the green flag here. Donnie Moore's led every lap so far. Jeff Sharp going to be up there on that high side. John Holcomb, the Lawrence towing car, in third. Phil Temples in fourth. Mike Holloway, your top 5 as they come through turn 3 and 4. Donnie Moore with a big restart is gone. Matter of fact, Holcomb's going to clear for second. Holloway going to go for third. Jeff Sharp caught napping.
Yeah, he gets stuck up on the corner there. He's able to kind of regain it, though. He's going to try to battle for that third position and maybe get a move around Mike Holloway.
Sharp drove it deep into the corner, but is going to pay for it on exit. One car caught the wall back there. Everybody moves on, though. It's Stenziano in there into the corner. Wow. Watching Temples underneath Sharp.
Yeah, Sharp battling for, and he's going to move back into 5th for the moment. He is stuck on that high side, begging for somebody to let him in, and there he goes. He's back into that bottom groove. Great job by Jeff to finally find a spot to move down.
That's got to be one of the toughest things, is to find the patience to get back in line there somewhere.
Yeah, you're looking for every moment you can. You think you got a spot, then a guy fills it right in front of you.
Let's go back here. The DeWalt car, 12th position, Dustin Powers. He started shotgun on the field inside of John Hine. Once again, I usually say this about Donnie Moore. He usually has the tools to win. Dustin Powers has the tools to come from the back. Up curve.
He's struggling right now getting past the 75 as that is John Hine who's going to make the pass on him on the high side. The first time we've seen that tonight.
You mean he went on the Hine sign? Literally. He's running up there in a high lane. We might have to call it the Hine line. Going high, wide, and handsome. There we go. Harry Gant.
Hey, we haven't seen a lot of it today, but he's making it work for him out there.
Everybody pretty much single file, though. This is that best battle right here. You're looking back here, John Hine now, that Budweiser car on board. Comes on the back bumper of Brandon Lukheimer, or line cooler. That's called getting it backwards a little bit. It's kind of weird looking on camera here. It looks like Brandon's in the number 19, but it's really number 61. Oh, Hine with a good run off the corner. Wow.
Yeah, he gets to that inside line. He's going to try to push it down there. And
oh, tight. Oh, contact there. Oh, more contact.
Oh, and more contact.
Everybody saves it. Wow, great racing there. Battle of beverages there for position. Turns into another battle for beverages. "37 laps in the book, already past a third of the way in." Next week we hit the Bull Ring, Las Vegas. Be our second visit there. Actually, my first.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Bull Ring, so it'd be definitely interesting to see how these guys perform out there and see actually my first race out there.
Oh, watching Jeff Kendrick catch the curve here up ahead. The 62 had to go for catching it. That's going to move Stenziano to 6th, Lowell Jewell up to 7th. Stenziano continuing that run from Oxford Plains 2 weeks ago, that momentum. He is definitely showing, hey, I know how to drive these cars now.
Yeah, definitely the confidence you gain from a great finish, able to push him through this race here tonight.
Yeah, I remember once we interviewed Lucas Stenziano, and he said to us, quote, "I don't want to be known as Spinziano." And I think he's that moniker's going bye-bye now, because he's definitely showing he belongs here. Top 4 pulled away to about a 1.5 second lead over 5th place Jeff Sharp. As you see the 19 roll up the track just a little bit there, Phil Temples. But your top 4 all within 0.8 of each other. Fastest car on the track right now is actually Jeff Kendrick in 9th. But a lot of cars all in that 0 range. 20.064, 83, 085. So many close times here.
Yeah, this top 4 has definitely checked out from the rest of the field, and they're kind of getting a little bit snappy coming off the corners right now.
Well, track's definitely developing more wear right now. Shouldn't mention that it's 65 degrees outside right now. 72 is the track temp, so there is some good amount of grip here. It is a late afternoon session. You see the shadows on the track. We got Smoker up here. Oh, it's a 61 at Lime Cooler. That Mountain Dew car is spewing. What happens when you accidentally drop a Mountain Dew can on the ground? Battle for 3rd. Temples diving underneath. Oh, had got the door shut up. I think that sets up our Nosafil.
And I just took a look back to what happened to the Lime Cooler. He went for a spin and able to keep it off the track as he spun it into the infield wall.
A break there for the 61. Another newcomer to the league. Unfortunately, he's had his rough comings here. But this battle, the 19 to 31. Phil Temples battling that Folds of Honor car, that 31.
Yeah, Phil Temple's trying to come back from hitting the curb earlier in this race today, and he's looking for any way he can get around the 31 of Mike Holloway.
I think Temples is trying to do the old diamond. If you don't know what that is, basically going to the corner, you insert low, which actually in this case he's going high, and then tries to bring it low. It's almost a road course move. They call it the over-under on road courses. There it is, right there.
Yeah, he's going to get the inside run, try to get it in there. He will not. He's going to keep trying to get that bumper in there and make the pass on the inside. We talked about the inside line being your friend here.
Yeah, if you ever watch a road course race, you get maybe some contact there. Chrome horn usage. Temple's got in the back of the 31, but if you watch a left-right section, you'll see a car go to the left and maybe slide up the track a little bit high. just to try to get back and cross over the car, maybe into the right-hand section and that kind of thing. So you can see that kind of action in Martinsville. That's why you see some people like AJ Allmendinger, for example, always run well at Martinsville, even though he's a road course guy.
A little bit of road strategy during the Spa weekend.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Halfway next time by, Donnie Moore has led every single lap, and he's actually driving away to about a 4/10 of a second lead over John Holcomb. For those cheering on J.R. Shepard, unfortunately, he was in a early wreck, lap 1, as a matter of fact, off turn 4, a big wreck that had multiple cars flipping out, literally.
Yeah, a couple guys still trying to battle back from that early wreck here today. And, you know, what, like we said earlier,
Temple's for third. Not to cut you off there, Steven. As you were saying.
We have JJ Garrett, one more caution. He's back on that lead lap, so he's still trying to stick in there.
There's Garrett right there in that 11 car, running 15th behind Chip Dickert. I think he's just kind of minding his P's and Q's there, just running laps until he gets that caution that he needs. Battle back here. Lucas Stenziano under attack from Lowell Jewell, the boss, who is up there at points right now.
Yeah, we talked about Lucas Stenziano having a great run out here today.
We got loose.
Yeah, up into the wall a little bit. Not a lot of damage, though, on that car. And he's going to pinch him down in the corner, trying to get him to work a little bit harder. And it's not going to be enough for Stenziano, as now he's going to give the check up to Mike Allen in that 59.
Oh, he's losing it. Yep, Mike Allen going to get under him. Oh, sorry. Not John Hine, but the 6'2 of Jeff Kendrick looking to fit in there.
Oh, a little bit more
contact
going on.
I heard that.
Looks like Jeff Kendrick's looking to maybe find a 3-wide spot here, but he's got to be happy right now watching these guys beat on each other in front of him.
And you wonder, Steven, did Lucas Stenziano use those tires up too much?
Yeah, he's stuck on that high side, and we're seeing him struggle a lot up there right now. You got to start to wonder, maybe are those tires losing it for him?
John Hine pushed up the track. Good caution out, trouble. It is Ryan Detzler, turn 4. Looks like single car incident here. I think Detzler's in that mode of get me out of here, please. Back end just comes around on him. Oh, he gets clipped. Kurt Smith got him, but Garrett's going to get the waiver on here. He'll be back on the lead lap as the third caution comes out, lap number 55.
I tell you what, we're going to have to see how Ryan Detzler reacts after that spin. I know it's tough being a newcomer coming into maybe a league that you're not as, familiar with how these guys run in the Outlaw Modified Series as he comes to pit road. But you got to start to wonder, is he going to be able to still be out there running around? Because those spins, it's kind of a let-off in your confidence on the track.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help you, but hopefully he'll be able to shake it off and continue on. But we were talking about Stenziano right before that. He was falling back, just couldn't help but think of times like these. When you could learn to fly maybe and do pretty well. Steven, those are Foo Fighters songs.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know, though, if you really want to push the car in there and try to be the hero tonight.
Yeah, because there might be no way back. Yes. Anyways. So here's your top 10 on the board. Donnie Moore, John Holcomb, Mike Holloway, Temple Sharp, Lowell Jewell, Mike Allen, Lucas Stenziano, Jeff Kendrick, and Dustin Powers started shotgun on the field and is up there in the top 10. Actually, I say shotgun. He started 11th. I'm thinking of Stenziano starting shotgun, 18th.
Yeah, great running by Donnie Moore already in this race. He's led every lap here tonight. Really hasn't had any competition up there But, you know, we get later on in this race, he may have somebody on the back bumper, and just like that, we got JJ Garrett back on the lead lap.
Garrett can be aggressive here, so let's watch what he does. He could be one to watch coming through this field. But yeah, Donnie Moore looking to be the first repeat winner this season. We've completed 3 already races this season and had 3 different winners from Donnie Moore, of course, J.R. Shepard, and then J.J. Garrett at Myrtle Beach last week. What a fun race that was. I definitely enjoyed watching that track again. Can't wait for next season there. Pace car lights are off at Irwin Tools APSCA, I believe it is. I'll get those initials right. ASPCA, there it is on the front. I'll get it right. Running there in the lead, we get the Lawrence Towing car of John Holcomb there in second. Mike Holloway, Phil Temples, Jeff Sharp. Pace cars in. Donnie Moore can pretty much take off whenever. And he has been consistent on that pedal.
And I don't know if you saw it in the back of the field, but the 62, that's
Kendrick.
Yeah, Kendrick.
Oh, we got a spin. Lowell gets turned into the pack. Look out. Couple cars in that.
Yeah, I was about to say how Kendrick was got a little bit of a checkup there on that start, and he actually gets involved in the wreck as well.
And Lowell gets he gets contact with the 27. Wow, Kurt Smith nowhere to go. Loomis locks it up, but Stenziano gets into the 5 of Lowell Jewell, brings out the 4th caution. And these boys better tighten up, because that caution there lets J.R. Shepard get a wave around, and he is now 1 lap down. Riding with John Hine here. C's definitely partied for him. Tonight, Lucas Stenziano has been the feast and the famine.
Yeah, I see he's up in 7th once again here tonight. And, you know, he's kind of missed all the big ones so far.
"37 laps to go. Is it too little too late for Shepard to get back on the lead lap here? He gets 1 lap back. He'll be 16th. Garrett, we should mention, he just got back on the lead lap. He is now in the 12th position, so we'll have to watch him now. Some of these faster cars that are starting from a couple laps down.
Yeah, Garrett was definitely the big winner in that wreck. Able to get through, no damage on that car, and he gains a ton of positions in that wreck.
Now, again, a reminder, you can always join us Saturday nights, 9:15. We're here for the Outlaws. It's one of the only short track racing series that you get to see on iRacing Live. I know, obviously, they broadcast a lot of series there, but the short tracks here on a Saturday night, it's the perfect setting. Because that's what we used to do back in the days. Go to a short track on a Saturday night. I know a lot of people don't do it, but at least you can do it right here in your living room.
Yeah, we didn't have the pavement tracks back where I grew up. We had all dirt tracks, but those Saturday main event or A features and everything, those were the best races I'd saw in a long time.
And we always do encourage, get out to the short tracks, because that's where you see some of these drivers that come from nowhere and all of a sudden become something. There's a reason why Eldora every year on a Wednesday night in the Truck Series is one of the best races, because that's what short track racing is all about on a Saturday night or wherever your local town races. But always encourage you to go do that, but we also say don't get away from us either. Keep watching us. Kind of a hard thing to do. There you go. Go to your track, watch on your phone. Perfect.
We heard a couple weeks back the Lionheart guys watching at Iowa in the intermission of the races. So
nice.
Even if you're at the track, tune it in.
Donnie Moore going to lead him back to green. And there he goes. Holcomb, I should say, got caught sleeping out there in that alley side. But he's going to get back to the bottom here.
Yeah, it looks like he cut off the 31, and it sounds like we got some banging going on.
I heard
back there.
that.
Not sure where.
Everybody's clean so far, it looks like. Holloway going to get past Temples for third. Hey, let's be nice to Lucas in chat.
Holloway got a little bit of a checkup there by John Holcomb, who was able to throw his car in front of him on that restart, but he's able to get that car back up to speed and get around Philip Temples. Great job by Mike Holloway.
Garrett going past Detzler here. That'll move him into the Hamilton position. You mentioned didn't see, but Cinziano looks like out of shape a little bit, but Mike Allen to the bottom here for position. This is for sixth.
Cinziano not giving him any room coming off the corners.
Oh, he shuts the door on him.
You can't get that you can't get the speed coming off the corner. You got to pinch them down and try to slow them down as well. And it looks like it's starting to fade now for Stenciano.
I'll tell you what, he is fighting Mike Allen on that high side. Allen right down on that yellow curve, that Clarence Steakhouse car. Stenciano catches the wall. Powers catches the wall right behind him. John Hine, like, somebody go somewhere, please.
I tell you what, it's tough when you're basically right behind another car. They go into the wall. You're most likely going into the wall with them. Another car into the wall back there.
Yeah, somebody just climbed it back there. Looked like it was Chip Dickert there in the 04s. Once again, Garrett underneath Powers. This is for ninth. Powers not giving it up. But Garrett said, give it to me. I'll take it.
Yeah, Powers stuck to that outside line. He's going to tuck it right in behind Garrett once again. And he's going to continue to battle that car and try to get back around him. Garrett making a great run right now, though.
Yeah, Detzler got a little loose there. I think he drove it too deep and had to get off the brakes and kind of drive it up the track to stay from getting in the back of Powers. But 25 laps to go. 27 climbing the wall there. Stiziano.
I think Kurt Smith got under the wall, too. He dropped back.
Go up trouble.
Oh, he spun.
Kurt Smith and David Loomis backstretch.
Yeah, he went for a...
Ooh. Looks like Lowell gave him a little help there. And the words that the field might not want to hear right now. And JR gets back on the lead lap.
Yeah, does he have enough time, though? I mean, we're going to have less than 25 to go when we go back green. And you got to wonder, does he have enough time to fight through the field and get up there?
So caution number 5 out. 5 cautions for 20 laps here with 24 to go. Here in the Outlaw Series Bootleg Racing League from Martinsville. This has definitely been wild here. The question is, can Shepard get from 16th to the top 5, or even better, to that Hamilton position, which is the 10th spot, because you get the pole next race at the Bullring. Is that possible?
You know, these guys have got to be worried about the possibility of J.R. Shepard starting on the pole next week.
Yeah, that's never a good thing when he starts on the pole, because usually he is gone. Oh, contact. Holcomb just got in the back, or Holloway in the back of Holcomb.
Yeah, not quite sure what was going on there. But they're definitely giving each other room now.
The 22 laps to go. Pretty much everybody but David Loomis and Brandon Limecooler is actually back on the track, 23 laps down.
You know, you got to give it up for Ryan Detzler. Even after he had a self-spin earlier, he's battled back up in 11th right now, and maybe gaining a little bit more confidence after his self-spin.
Going to get the one to go this time by. 21 laps to go. Your top 10 right now: Moore, Holcomb, Holloway, Temple, Sharp, Mike Allen, Lucas Stenziano, JJ Garrett, John Hine, Dustin Powers. Pace car is in. Donnie Moore's been pretty consistent. He should be green about now. And there he goes. Almost spun the tires there. You can see the smoke.
Oh, we got a spinner in the back.
Oh. No caution. It's David Loomis who's not having a good night.
We got cars all over the place now. We're wrecking all on the front stretch. Or the back stretch.
Garrett's involved. Detzler. I see only 2 cars.
I got Garrett involved, Kendrick involved.
Looks like Garrett got contact, tried to get on it. Oh, wow, and came back up the track into the 20. Wow. David Loomis going to get the waiver on Detzler. Kind of got the worst of it. He had 1 car on top of him even.
Yeah, tough break for JJ Garrett. We're watching Ryan Detzler right now. We just talked about him maybe getting some confidence back, and then he sees JJ Garrett going right in front of him, nowhere to go.
And that brings out the 6th caution here. 18 laps to go. Garrett is towed back to the pits, so he is not going to have the night he wanted to have after his win last week. Should mention Jeff Kendrick also off the track right now. As a matter of fact, Garrett is taking his car behind the wall.
Yeah, tough break for Garrett here tonight.
See Lowell Jewell going to come to pit road. He's got a little bit of nose damage. He will get that car repaired if he hasn't gotten a fast repair used already.
Well, let's see if he has used that fast repair as he comes into his pits right now. And it does look like he'll take some time and get that car fixed up.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of damage on that nose. Repair's already been used, so he'll have to get that fixed up as the cars come off turn 4 here. I'm thinking we should get one to go this time. We do not, so we'll have 2 more laps at least until green. So we should get about a 14-lap restart or so. Still plenty of cars. 14 on the lead lap here. Lowell Jewell the last on the lead lap. Shepard up to 12th already. David Loomis now 1 lap down, I believe, once he gets his wave around. Unfortunately, Loomis has spun around a lot of times tonight. A majority, not his fault.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to him on that last restart, but seemed like right after they got going, he was already spinning in the back of the field.
Donnie Moore going to take 1 to go here and see if he can go 2 for 2 in the state of Virginia. Won the first race of the season at Langley, and now here at Martinsville. Keeps this up, he's going to want to race at Richmond too. South Boston, and any other Virginia oval I can't think of right now. Here you go, pace car pulling off. Once again, Donnie Moore on it.
It might just be me, but it looked like Donnie might have delayed that start a little bit more.
Up the track.
Yeah, they went way up the track, giving second up to Mike Holloway.
Whoa, contact the 19 and Sharp. Temples. These guys starting to get a little racy back here at mid-pack. It sounds like Lowell Jewell got a penalty. He's on pit road.
Stenziano stuck back to that high side, trying to make it work for him once again here tonight.
Oh, Jeff Allen leaning on Stenziano. Or Mike Allen, that is. Jeff Allen's a lineman in football. Stenziano's loose. Yikes.
I tell you what, he hasn't given up on that high side all day here today.
That boy is a fighter. Battle up here, Powers and Hine. Oh, contact there, a little door slam. I call that a hip check where I'm from.
Yeah, I think the patience between these guys as the 75
more
of
hip
John
check.
Hine into the wall, and a little bit of curb check by the 25 of Dustin Powers now.
J.R. Shepard going to try to pounce to the bottom here. Powers going to give him room. Battle for the Hamilton position here. 8 laps to go.
Still side-by-side action here with J.R. Shepard and Dustin Powers. Shepard knows he's got to get up there. He's got to start working. We got a battle for the lead.
Look here, Mike Holloway. Holloway looking to get by Donnie Moore. Has led every lap tonight. And Holcomb is all over the track trying to keep Temples behind him.
Patience running out right now. These guys trying to get as much as they can.
Not sure what kind of clock these guys get in the series for winning at Martinsville, but in obviously normal racing, you get the grandfather clock. Here, you might just get one of those little clocks.
Get the old school throw it off your
Throw it off the counter.
Yeah.
I think Joe has one of those still. Anyways, Mike Holloway all over Donnie Moore. You're on board with him. Man started 15th. Oh, Temples underneath to the bottom here. Holcomb blocked him. That's a tough angle for both of them. Giving each other room.
Yeah, they're definitely not giving each other an inch, trying to secure that third position. And John Holcomb up the track gives it up to Philip Temples.
He tried to get in behind Temples and made contact, just missed the angle a little bit, and then knocked him up the track and lost third spot. Meanwhile, 4 to go. Mike Holloway trying to get this win. Donnie Moore going to play defense here. Holcomb to the bottom.
Yeah, if we see a pass in these last 3 laps, you got to call it an upset.
Yeah, especially, I don't know if Mike Holloway have to check the stats if he has a win in this series. But that Folds of Honor card looking to go to victory lane. 2 to go. We've hit that point of no return. And Steven, in case you didn't know what that means, is next flag ends the race.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Moore bringing it off turn 4. One more lap. Can he hold off Holloway?
And I think we might have seen Holloway give it all he had, but it's not going to be enough. He has a chance, but it's not going to be there for him entering turn 3.
No, it's not. Donnie Moore is going to lead flag to flag and win his 2nd race of the season. Martinsville goes to Moore. Mike Holloway going to be 2nd. Phil Temples 3rd. John Holcomb 4th. And how about Jeff Sharp going to get a top 5? Donnie Moore going to go celebrating at Irwin Tools car. We'll talk to him in victory lane. The rest of the top 3 will recap the race and get you ready for the Bull Ring in Las Vegas next week. That's all coming up on the Global Sim Racing channel. top 5, Steve. Back at Martinsville Speedway, where Donnie Moore once again shows he's the king of Virginia so far here this season. Won at Langley in the opening race of the season, and now Donnie Moore's come back to Virginia and winning in Martinsville. A second win of the season. Mike Holloway finishes second. Phil Temple's going to finish third. A hard-fought third-place battle there. John Holcomb fourth, and Jeff Sharp your top 5.
Yeah, coming in at 6th tonight was Mike Allen. J.R. Shepard will finish 7th tonight after a tough beginning to his race tonight. Lucas Stenciano will finish 8th. John Hine in 9th, and Dustin Powers in 10th.
Yeah, he'll start on the pole next week at the Bull Ring. Finishing 11th, Chip Dickert. Ryan Detzler struggles to get a 12th. Kurt Smith 13th. David Loomis, first car, a lap down, 14th. Lowell Jewell had apparently multiple speeding penalties from what I heard on pit road. He finished 15th. Rest of his car off the track. Jeff Kendrick, J.J. Garrett, Brandon Linecooler finishing 34 laps down as we go down to victory lane. And well, the man was on a big-time losing streak that was over a year. And I think we found a common thing here, Donnie. And I don't notice if you've noticed this, Mr. Moore, but there's certain individual not here tonight that was not here in week 1 either.
That's right. Keep him out of here.
We're talking about Sean, in case you haven't noticed. He was not here for that race at Langley. He's not here for Martinsville, and you're in victory lane again.
Unbelievable how these things work out. Boy, after last week's fiasco, I wanted to do good things tonight, and so this is good.
I'd say leading every lap from the pole, that's a good way to leave a stamp on a track.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, though. John Holcomb really put a lot of pressure on me earlier, and then last 10 or 20 laps, it was Michael Holloway, so good job by them.
Seems like you were doing a good job timing the restarts. I was watching, it looked like you had a consistent starting point, and even smoking the tires, it looked like at times off the corners.
Yeah, I was consistent on the starts, same place every time. Boy, just trying to hit my spots there at the end, not hit the curb.
How big is it to have 2 wins in a season where we went over a year without putting Donnie Moore in a checkered flag, and now here you are 2 times already in 4 races?
Yeah, that's crazy. But it's only because of the unfortunate luck of JR. I mean, he was so fast in the trucks. He has this line down pat. So it was only because of his unfortunate night.
Well, one man's loss, another man's treasure, as they say. Donnie Moore, congratulations, your second win of the season, and as we always can say, send your shout-outs.
Hey, great cause tonight, the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I'm glad to have won and won for that.
Absolutely, we agree with that. Well, Donnie, congratulations, and you got that Irwin's Tool ASPCA car in victory lane. We'll talk next week at the Bull Ring.
Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely, Donnie Moore finishing in the in victory lane, I should say. I was going to say finishing in the second position is Mike Holloway and Stephen Welch. Talk to him.
Yeah, we got Mike Holloway in here now as he starts all the way back in 15th, and he works his way through the field and puts on a show at the end. How did you go about doing that tonight, Mike?
I think it was really just trying to be patient, waiting for the right moves, and that big pile up there on the first lap probably helped a good bit too.
Yeah, what was going through your mind as you came around the corner and saw that pile up?
Oh, I just assumed it was pretty much over at that point.
Now, we did see you put the pressure on Donnie Moore at the end of the race tonight. Did you have any kind of strategy to save your tires and maybe give that one last push and try to make it work for you?
Yeah, those last couple of runs there, we had those last few cautions there. I was trying to save a little, but still trying to give a little and stay where I was. But ultimately, they just didn't save enough. Donnie just had a little too much for me.
Well, you do have a great run tonight, and like I said earlier, you put on a show at the end of the race. You come away with a second. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
I just got to give a shout out to the Folds of Honor Foundation and the Veterans Tickets Foundation. They both do excellent work for our veterans and deserve all the credit they can get.
Great foundations there and a great run put on by you. And it's something to celebrate here tonight, man. Great job.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
And Chris, I believe you have our third place finisher, Philip Temples.
Yeah, Phil Temples was Mr. Excitement, we can call him this evening after the race. And Phil, I got to ask you this question. That was definitely a wild run. You got the curve earlier, fell back from second to fourth, and kept in the top 5 all race long. Talk about your race.
It was a real fun race. Just made a couple of little mistakes there. I think I would have been in contention. I could seem to fall back from them and run them back down fairly easily.
Well, how line sensitive was the race tonight? It seemed like when you were on the bottom, it seemed good, but then you'd hit that curve or you'd get loose going into entry if you were entering too high. Is it very line sensitive tonight?
Not really. I don't think I was ever really loose on entry. Just that curve. They need to remove that thing from there.
A lot of people seem to say that about Martinsville, but the racing up there in the front, you and Donnie put on a pretty good show that first half.
Yeah, me and Donnie, and then it changed to me and Mike and John. And, it was a blast. It was intense.
Well, you did a great job up there in the third position, getting a top 3 finish. You move on with some momentum next week to the Bull Ring. Send a shout out whoever you like to.
Well, I'd like to thank the Muscular Dystrophy Association for sponsoring this race. We lost a family member to that, and it's kind of something that was important. So just shout out to them. Guys, donate all you can.
Absolutely. We agree with that 100%, Philip. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right, man. You guys have a good one.
You too. Phil Temples, your third place finisher here at Martinsville this evening. As Stephen, we put a wrap on things here. First off, it was good to have you up here in the booth, but your final thoughts as we leave this old paperclip of Martinsville.
What a run by Donnie Moore. It's tough to get out and get a win at Martinsville, but it's even tougher to lead every single lap.
And he definitely did that this evening. Definitely, you could say he put a whooping on the field, but he had a close battle with Holloway there at the end. But we appreciate you coming up, Stephen, and we'll talk soon, bud.
Yeah, it's always great to be up here, man.
Absolutely. And, of course, we want to say thanks to Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing and keep up with the top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Pink Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. Virtual Grip Network, you can check them out at virtualgrip.net. and facebook.com/virtualgrip. Also want to thank the original music you've heard on the broadcast all year long is thanks to our good friends Eric Ekholm and Casey Lawn. You could see them on the screen there and how to contact each of them. Also thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen that's now used for our broadcast. All that's right there on the screen to your left. For more information about all GSRC events, you can go to globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. We have upcoming races on the screen. You can see those as you see the Bull Ring. That's the next race on the schedule for the Outlaws. So make sure you mark that on the calendar next Saturday, the 29th at 9:15 Eastern Time for 100 laps of action. We'll see you here on iRacing Live in the Global Sim Racing Channel. For Dougie Beard, Joe Peak, Stephen Parks, filling in for Sean Ambrose, I'm Chris Scala. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.